Hello. Today we are going to talk about a concept which may help you avoid problems when finding time for your writing. This concept is not mine. I took it from one of the books by Maxim Dorofeev. Now the idea is that there is a difference between a project and a way of life. A project is something that that you do and which has an end date, which uh, which has a clear ending, a clear completion criterion. And also, when a project ends, your life goes on as it used to be, as it used to have. For example, a vacation is a project. You book the tickets, you book a hotel, you go to this place where you want to go, then you come back home, and at this point, the vacation ends, the project ends, and life goes on as before. If, on the other hand, you want to learn a foreign language, then there is no end date. So let's say you've started to learn the language, you took some courses, you passed a couple of tests. After this, you will most likely not just stop learning this language, but you may want to become better at it. And to do so, you may want to start changing your habits. For instance, you may want to start watching videos in that language, podcasts, and so on. So basically, once you start learning a language, gradually your life changes. You change your habits, and this is why it is called a way of life. Learning a foreign language does not have an end date. And I assume and I think that for most people, writing is rather a way of life than a project. Most of the time, it doesn't end when the novel is completed, and I think it helps you to be more resilient if you treat it not as a project with a deadline, but as a way of life in which a novel will be completed when it will be completed. There are a couple of reasons why I think that it is better to treat a writing project, at least the first writing project, as a way of life. And one of the reasons is that even experienced writers sometimes cannot predict the time it will take them to complete the project. A good example is Robert Musil. He spent over 20 years on his novel, I would say masterpiece, The Man Without Qualities, Mann ohne Eigenschaften. The novel was unfinished when he died, and most likely he violated all possible deadlines. But even in its unfinished form, the novel is a masterpiece. And if you spend a lot of time in Vienna, if you know the culture there, you will enjoy reading it. You may laugh yourself to death if you read this book. So this project, if it was a project, the Man Without Qualities would be a complete failure. But even though it is not completed, even though it is it has violated the deadlines, it is still a masterpiece. And I invite you to think about this idea that writing is mostly a way of life. Thank you for your attention.